There are still so many books out there that have never been adapted into movies or TV shows. So, once again, let's try to fix that. Welcome back to BG's Books. I'm Mr. BG, and today I will be doing another video for books that I think should get adaptations. So in the last video that I did a couple days ago at this point, you guys seem to really like it, giving me some likes, giving me some comments, and most of the comments I'm reading are saying to do a part 2, and one of you even gave suggestions for some more books that would make good adaptations. So I just thought, all right, you guys clearly like this idea, so I'm just gonna keep making more of them. So I want to focus on this bookshelf. More importantly, I want to save the Stephen King bookshelf for a different video entirely, because as I said in the first video, Stephen King is like a gold mine for unadapted material. So I can make literally a whole video out of that. So we're just going to focus on this bookshelf right behind me. And so, yeah, let's get right into the books.
Come on, be adapted already.
All right, so the first book we have today is actually a favorite of mine. I read it just earlier this year, and I loved it so much. And it is, of course, The Catcher in the Rye by J.D. Salinger. So, interestingly enough, this was actually a book that I included in my original video that I had to take down for those reasons I stated. But basically, The Catcher in the Rye, it came out in 1951, so it's about 74 years old now. It does not have a movie, and it probably never will, because J.D. Salinger, apparently he really hated movies in his life. It's kind of funny because his son Matt Salinger is an actor, so I find that kind of ironic. But anyway, J.D. Salinger, supposedly there was like a short story of his that was adapted into a movie back in the day, and he just hated it so much. And that's generally considered one of the reasons why he doesn't let any movies, why he won't let any movies be adapted into his work, or any of his work be adapted into movies, I guess. So anyway, it's like J.D. Salinger clearly does not like movies, but J.D. Salinger has also said that the only way he would approve of a Catcher in the Rye movie is if he got to play Holden Caulfield. Holden Caulfield is, of course, the main character of Catcher in the Rye, who's like 16. I don't really know how J.D. Salinger, as like a 30 or 40-year-old man, could pass for a 16-year-old teenager. But okay, I guess that's happened. I guess that was a thing he was going to do. But anyway, and then of course, J.D. Salinger has, of course, passed away since then. So the rights to a movie is really up to his estate. And the last time I looked it up, his estate is pretty intent on never letting a movie being made, at least until Catcher in the Rye reaches public domain in about 60 years. So we may end up getting a Catcher in the Rye movie, but it'll be like decades down the line. But anyway, as of the current moment, Catcher in the Rye will not get a movie, which I think is very disappointing because I really like it, and I think that a movie could really reinvigorate interest in this very good novel for a younger audience.
Come on, be adapted already.
Okay, so this next batch of books I have for you is actually part of a series that has been sort of adapted already. I will get to that. But it is, of course, the Giver series by Lois Lowry. So the reason why I say it's been sort of adapted is because it got, at least the first Giver book, got a movie. And the movie was not well received in the slightest. So what I think they should do is not only should they remake the original movie based on the book, but also make either sequel movies or even have an entire show dedicated to The Giver. So I imagine that it could be just like a quadrilogy of movies, you know, like some movies do. Or even better, what they could do is that they could flesh out the entire story of The Giver by having a series. Like, I'm talking about something like what they're currently doing with the Percy Jackson show, or what the Harry Potter show coming about next year or 2 years in the future seems to be doing, which is like one book a season. It's like season 1 is The Giver, season 2 is Sun, season 3 is Messenger, and then season 4 is Gathering Blue. Sorry, Gathering Blue was the second one, and then of course season 4 is Sun. So I imagine something like that, because The Giver is actually a very good series. It's very underrated. I don't know why a lot of people don't like it for whatever reason, but yeah, I think it could make a really good quadrilogy of movies or an even better TV show. So I think that if we give The Giver another chance, maybe it could really end up impressing us.
Come on, be adapted already.
All right, and so the next book I have is called Something More Than Night by Kim Newman. And so I think that this could make either a really great movie or a miniseries. And I actually looked up if this was a movie or not, and the best thing I can find for Something More Than Night is a docu-series released in 2017, and this book specifically was released in 2021, so of course that series has nothing to do with this book at all. But the thing that I like about this is that this book is about Raymond Chandler. He was a famous novelist, and Boris Karloff. You know, he played Frankenstein, the Mummy. He voiced the Grinch in the '66 cartoon and everything. So it's like they're the two main characters, and they are private detectives trying to solve a mystery. And that is quite the premise, okay? That is quite the premise. This is historical fiction, and it has like two real life people just solving mysteries together. So I guess what I would want from a movie or series adaptation would be just like kind of like a detective noir thriller, like it's set in the 30s, so that's about the time of noir stuff. They're just going around doing their thing, like having fun banter, like a buddy cop movie in the 30s, like something like that. I think it could be really fun. And yeah, so whether or not it's a movie or a mini series, I would just love to see, because this is definitely on my reading list, because the plot with just Raymond Chandler and Boris Karloff just being detectives and stuff, that's just hilarious to me. So I definitely want to read this. And I would definitely love to see a movie or miniseries based off of this concept, because this is just something else.
Come on, be adapted already.
So the next book I have is actually a little interesting because it was based off of movies, but it's not a movie itself. So it's kind of interesting. But it is Batman Resurrection by John Jackson Miller. And so basically, this takes place in the Batman '89 universe. So, you know, the Michael Keaton movies directed by Tim Burton. It takes place between '89 and Returns. And basically, it's like some loose ends from the first movie are still out there, and Batman's trying to wrap them up. So the reason why I say this one's interesting is that, of course, it's based on the Tim Burton, Michael Keaton led films, but it's a novel that takes place in between both of them. So I think that like maybe a show or a movie, like to fill in the gaps between those two movies for people who don't like to read like I do, so that they can kind of see how Returns and '89 connect even more. I just think that would be interesting. Again, if you don't want to see a show or movie of this, that's perfectly fine. I think it would be a little weird myself, but I certainly think that it would be an interesting idea. Like cast someone who looks like a young Michael Keaton or whatever, or just like do a Batman Forever and Batman and Robin thing where you just don't acknowledge the fact that they look any different at all. But anyway, so just like I would love to see a movie or a show or whatever just based on this taking place in between Batman '89 and Batman Returns, because that would just be pretty fun. I love the '89 film, and Batman Returns is a pretty decent movie. So I would love to return to the Keaton verse, or I guess the Burton verse, as they would say, with a movie or show based on this. So again, if you're not up for it, that's fine, but I'd be up for it. So yeah.
Come on, be adapted already.
All right. So the second to last book I have here is American Rapture by C.J. Lead. And like Batman Resurrection, it is very new, so I'm not expecting an adaptation for it like anytime in the near future. But I think it would be really interesting because from what I'm hearing about it, it seems that a virus is spreading across America, and this like good Catholic girl named Sophie is trying to travel across America to save her twin brother as the world falls apart around her. So the first thing I thought of when I saw that is Stephen King's The Stand, which is like right here or down here, if you will. But anyway, so it's also similar to Joe Hill's The Fireman, which is also like another version of The Stand. So the book itself may seem like it's a version of The Stand, but The Stand adaptations, there were two miniseries, one in '94 and then the most recent one in 2021. They both seem to be doing okay to pretty good. So I think that a movie or miniseries for American Rapture would also do about the same, considering the Stand miniseries has done so well. And they also seem to be adapting The Fireman as well. So again, there's interest in virus apocalypse stories similar to this. So I think that a movie or show definitely could work.
Come on, be adapted already.
All right, and so the last book of this video, we have How to Survive a Slasher by Justine Priscilla Winans. And similar to the previous few books that we looked at, this book actually just came out this year, like 2025. So there will definitely not be an adaptation for it in the near future. But the thing about this book is that it's called How to Survive a Slasher. So that obviously makes me think that it's like a satirical slasher, and it's like a comedic take on slasher stories, similar to like the movie Scream or even the book I Was a Teenage Slasher that I talked about in the last video. But anyway, I think that this could either work as a movie or miniseries because there don't seem to be that many pages, but the font is rather small, I guess you could say. So I don't know. It could work as both, I would see. But I remember that in the first Scream movie from 1996, there was a scene where Randy, one of the characters, basically lectures everyone on how to survive a slasher movie. You know, like the don't be in the bedroom, never drink alcohol, and never say I'll be right back, you know, stuff like that. I imagine that this whole book is like that scene, and the adaptation that could be made from this book could be just like that whole scene, but as an entire thing. And I love satirical slashers. I love slashers in general, and I also love satirical slashers because I Was a Teenage Slasher was just a fun ride. But yeah, I think that How to Survive a Slasher within a few years could definitely work as a movie or miniseries, and I would love to see it if it ever happens. But yeah, guys, that is the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed. I don't think I'll be able to make a part 3, at least on this side of the shelf. As I said, the part 3 that we'll get is probably for the Stephen King shelf because of stuff I've already mentioned. But anyway, I've looked through a lot of those books to see what potentially I could put in this video or even a future video. And it looks like a lot of these books that I have just have adaptations that I've just never heard about. They either have one or they're confirmed to be getting one very recently. So I don't know. So I'll just have to get more books in the future, I guess, that don't have any adaptations yet. But anyway, in the meantime, that is it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Please do like and subscribe. We are still on the train to 300 subscribers, so I really hope that we hit that milestone soon as a channel. But yeah, anyway, once again, I would love to know what books you think should be an adaptation, either as a movie or a TV show. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This has been BG's Books, and I've been Mr. BG, and I will see you guys in the next video.